It's,
yeah. Well, hello, ladies. I guess you could probably tell by looking at this, it's the Kerry and Belinda hour.
that's not an hour though. We're not doing it an hour. We didn't practice an hour.
Yeah, it's not an hour. It's just a few minutes. We wanted to touch bases with you. We wanted to say hello to you. And actually, you know, Kerry with Zooming, it was Kerry's idea. And you know what? I'm thinking it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a good thing it's her idea and not mine. She's the Zoomer queen. And speaking of which, Zoomer queen, Kerry has positioned herself so it looks like she's got a crown on the top of her head. She does not, okay? She is not a princess. She's not a queen.
Yes, I am.
It's just the lights in her bedroom, bathroom, okay? So I just want to establish that's how Kerry has a crown.
No, I have a crown more than that. I got a real crown that I'm going to cast at the Lord's feet. So just get over yourself, Belinda.
Yeah. So I want to just kind of clear that up. Don't anybody feel bad or feel the pressure. And actually, I suggested that she move over, but once I told her what it looked like, oh, there's no moving her then. So let's just kind of touch some business basics first. And Kerry, you just jump in because we don't have a script here. We don't have any notes and nothing. So we start February 9th, which is this coming Tuesday. And you all have your different areas that you're meeting. Some are Zooming. Kerry's group is full on Zoomers. And they've even been meeting during the summertime. They just had a great time and good fellowship and good study. So that's great. A lot of you are meeting at the church on Tuesday. Some of you have access to large areas, actually areas larger than our rooms at church, and you're meeting there. So wherever you're meeting, we just want to encourage you to be safe, to practice the social distancing, to
this thing that goes on right here.
Your mask.
What's this right here? You can put on a shield.
Lipstick. That's too much. That's too far. Yeah. Don't put your lipstick on that far. So, you know, just be safe. That's what we want for you. Also, if you don't have your lessons yet, they are at the church office, and there are the lessons, and there's also something, compliments of Kerry, maps, timelines. You know, the one thing that I really enjoy about working with Kerry is her humility. Yeah. Timelines.
I'm your sideshow. Okay.
Yeah. You can tell that Kerry has been confined to her bedroom and house for
a year
long now.
Yeah. Forever.
It's showing. Okay. And it's not, I don't mean that in a positive way.
Thank you.
Leaders meetings, for those that are leaders, because some of you may be people in the study itself, but the leaders are continuing meeting on Monday afternoons 3 to 4:15 on Zoom. The lectures will continue to be online, and they are going to be available by Monday morning at 10 o'clock.
And the platforms, you're going to tell them where they're going to be so they can find them?
Well, they're going to be on the church website like they've always been. And I believe they're going to also be on Facebook, but I know they'll be on the church website. All you have to do on the church website is go to it, fbclodi.org. Then you go to Help Me Grow. You click on that. You go down to Women's Ministry, click on that. And then you scroll down to Bible studies. You click on that, and boom, there will be.
That's a lot of booming to get to the boom. Yeah.
It is. Well, you get to the final big boom at the end. And so that's what counts.
So for my group, so I'll tell you what I do with my group, because, you know, our group is awesome, is I send them the link. Yeah. I send the link to the lecture to my group every Monday. So that's just what I do, because then that way it's a one-stop shop for my Zoom, and then I give them the lecture and they just get it all from me, because, you know, you might get lost in go to the website, go to this, go to that. I mean, it's not that hard, but there is multiple steps. And so just putting it out there for you guys, so you know.
Well, if you're going to wait for my Zoom, for my lecture to be linked to you, it isn't going to happen. You're going to have to use the website.
But I'm going to go to the website and grab it, and then I'll give it to my ladies that way. So.
Oh, I didn't know you were going to the website and grabbing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, who would have thought Kerry would have been a grabber? But I guess that's what happens after being shut in your house for a year, not being able to walk. Kerry, the grabber.
Yeah.
Princess Grabber.
Yeah. See my crown, Yeah.
Is there anything else as far as announcements, Kerry, that we got going on?
So we start February 9th. Make sure you pick up your lecture. Do lesson 1. Do lesson 1,
do it.
right?
Yeah,
right?
There's no intro. There's no intro for this study. When you show up on the 9th, your lesson number 1 needs to be done.
Yes, that's important.
Bada boom,
Okay.
boom,
Yeah.
bada bing. Lesson done.
And hopefully we had asked the leaders to ask you to read 1 Kings 1 through 16 to kind of give you a jump start, and so you can learn all about the history, what's going on with Israel, because that's where Elijah is. If you haven't done it, speed read and do your lesson. Nobody's going to slap your hand if you haven't. I mean, it's just more, it was just to help you have a better, like a running start when we get going next week. So that's as far as announcements.
Right. It's kind of, you know, it gives us, for me, it gave me a real handle on exactly what scenario, what situation Elijah is walking into, what he's been called to do, and exactly what it looks like there where he's going. So you have this history, so all this stuff is built up. And so then when you start the Elijah study, it's like, okay, Elijah, hang on. Hang on. So it will be helpful for that.
In the notes, because in your lesson, there's a page that has written notes, kind of like a synopsis of Elijah, and it has, see the included chart. So that chart refers to the list of the kings in the northern and the southern kingdoms and whether they were good or bad and kind of the time frame and who's kind of parallel with one another. So use that to your advantage. And you know that I like to have that kind of stuff especially when I'm reading long periods of history. I have it so I can see, oh, that's what's happening in the north and that's what's happening in the south. So, and then we gave you maps so you can see where Elijah was traveling and the timeline of what all this was taking place. And then you have memory verses in there.
I love that map, by the way.
Yeah, we found some good ones.
Different places where Elijah was.
Yes, it has little arrows and all that kind of stuff. Make sure you do the memory verses. Nobody's, asking you to say them out loud to anybody, but they really minister deep in your heart when you've got God's word hidden in there. There's a schedule in there. So just go by, just make sure you pick that up. And if you have a problem, call Belinda. Don't call me. Yeah. Okay. Well, why don't you tell everybody, Belinda, what you've been doing besides bugging me for the last few months?
Okay. Another just real quick thing about picking your lesson up. You need to pick it up someday other than Sunday, because right now on Sunday mornings, the staff that works in the office, they're not working in the office on Sunday mornings. Right. So we should have plenty of opportunity to pick it up during the week.
And you can only go between 9 and 1. So it's not, the office is only open between 9 and 1. And right now they're getting ready to have their first Sunday in church. And so they're really busy, but just go like a little mouse, go into the church office, Sally's in there, get your lesson, and then, so there you go. All right. So why don't you tell everybody what you've been doing in COVID?
What have I been doing? I have been staying home. Mm-hmm. I don't know if she's trying to catch me at something, but I have been staying home. I am not going crazy and staying home. I'm about to go crazy because I haven't seen my grandbaby since October 10th. And I usually see him every 6 weeks. And I have scheduled a trip down there in May. And don't anybody come looking for me the week of May 23rd. Because if I have to put on a trench coat and wear sunglasses and a hat, I'm going down to see my grandbabies. I did want to tell you one thing exciting that happened this summer, and this summer, and since the break.
Yeah.
And that is the piece of furniture that you see behind me. That is a secretary. It's like a desk, let me see here. I want to play with this to see if I can give anybody motion sickness. You see how that goes down like that? Okay, you got a good look at that. Look at me, I'm so versatile. Yeah, I'm so versatile. Okay, what this is, it's a antique. My great grandfather built this. And I have a cousin, and she passed away this last year in August. And when she passed away, this was left to me. And so I really wanted it. I had it shipped out, and I love it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I wouldn't ship one out if it hadn't been, but the fact that it was made by my great grandfather, and what's really great is there's a picture. You can see that picture on that shelf right there. You can't see it very well, but that is my great grandfather and his wife, which would obviously be my great grandmother. The other neat thing is, even though this is from my mother's side of the family, the love for working with wood, my dad was also a cabinet maker, and he loved to work with wood. So I just occasionally go by here and I just kind of rub my hand on it because it feels so good. It feels so good and smooth. Anybody that works with wood would really appreciate the way this thing looks and feels. And other than that, kind of not, my mom she's hanging in there. I can't get in to see her. It's I visit her through the sliding glass door, but she's doing great. It's just a hard road, but she's really doing well, everything considered. And yeah, I'm doing pretty good too. I have been Nurse Ratched to Randall. He had a little high blood pressure issue. His blood pressure is usually so low that I've told him over the years, Randall, if you ever have high blood pressure, you might as well as just lay down and die. He loves salt. Randall would have been a cow because a salt block would have been so appealing to him. And whoop, one day we got up, his blood pressure was so crazy and he was dizzy. So I marched him right down to the doctor's office that day. And for 2 weeks, Randall has been blessed to be
I don't know if you call it blessed.
Good health.
You know what we call it? It's poor Randall at our house. Poor Uncle Randall. Poor Uncle Randall. Yeah.
Poor Uncle Randall went to the doctor today, and the doctor was so stinking happy about Randall's blood pressure improvement that I thought he was going to start crying. I said, Doctor, pull yourself together. So everything's going pretty good here. I'm just ready to bust out.
Yep, I agree.
Which I'm sure everybody who's listening to this is the same.
Yep, exactly.
Well, Kerry, let's
okay, so since you did it with your computer, I'm going to do it with mine. So I'm going to turn you guys around. You're going to see this chair. See that right there?
A little more. Oh, perfect. There. Oh, that's good.
Okay, so that's where I've been living since about the October 2nd. So what is that, 4 months? See that chair right there? That's me. That's where I've been living because of my feet. It's in this week marks a year since I injured them. And they're actually worse than they were, which I find that really hard to believe. And last night was the worst night I've ever had. I didn't get any sleep, 0. Because the pain is just over the top. So what my Zoom group did, and it's not on anybody else, but my Zoom group did Psalm 23 during this interim, so the whole month of January, and we just finished up this morning. And I don't think I would have been able to cope if we hadn't been doing that. So not everybody in my group decided to do it. There was 4 of us that met every week. We just kind of kept the momentum and the same Zoom number and all that kind of stuff. And if I didn't know about the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. If I didn't know that Yahweh was my shepherd, if I wasn't reminded constantly that goodness and his unfailing hesed love pursued me, which is what that word, it chases after us quickly. If I wasn't reminded about that on a daily basis, I think I would have gone crazy and I would have quit. And it's not really an option. I can't quit. What I'm going to do, Rebecca, my daughter, thinks I should cut my feet off, but then I'd have phantom pain. So she gets a real kick out of that. But I
will have
thank you.
Minister to you there.
Yeah. Saw. So It's been really hard. I just can't believe it's been all this time. So if God brings me to your mind, I appreciate your prayers that I don't give up. Because it's not only am I confined in this room, we have COVID, we've got, there's just so many things compounded that it just makes it, wow, Lord, okay, I'm in a drought. And the coach, Lino, as Belinda, they're besties. It's pretty nauseating. He told me last week as he's
smart.
Yeah, no, I don't call that smart. He was taping up my feet because I'm having my feet taped twice a week. And he, was wrapping them up and he said, Kerry, you're in a drought. You're in a desert. And a couple of weeks before that, he had said, Kerry, you've been abandoned by all the medical professionals. That's the only door that the Lord has kept open is the one through Lino. We call him Coach now because he's doing all of my PT. And so he's just, he's there for us. So we've had a lot of fun conversations about the Lord with him, which has been really cool. And he speaks Spanish, by the way, just found that out, Belinda. So anyway, family's doing really well. We've all been home, there's just, like you guys, we're tired. We're tired of all of it. We're ready to get back to normal, whatever that normal looks like. We've all, I've grown in a year. I'm not going to look the same when I bust out of here. But this was not something that has taken God by surprise. So, and what I wanted to say when we go into this book of Elijah is Elijah was a man just like us. It says that in James 5:17. And so if you look at the literal Greek, he was a man that had passions just like us. So that's, put that with the word emotion. So he was a man of great highs and a man of deep lows. He had, he hid from God. He escaped from God. He obeyed God. He stood before God. But he was a man just like us. And he had a prayer life. You want to know what his prayers were? His prayers are written for us and they're not long. They're short. He had arrow prayers, but they were effective. And so I'm just really grateful that we can study about Elijah because he was a man just like us. And God gave us this time and God gave us a study for such a time as this. And so I really need it for myself. I've been reading it ahead of time and studying and preparing. Belinda's doing the first lecture. I'm doing the second one. And then, and then keep going on that. So yeah, there you go. That's what's been going on. Anything else? That's it. All right. Well, why don't we sign off? Sayonara. Adios.
Yep. Ladies, stay safe. And we're both very excited that study starts up this next Tuesday.
Yep.
And those of you that'll be at church on Tuesdays, I will be roaming the building. I'll be roaming the building. I will be there. You'll never know it, but when I come walking in.
Yep. You never know. All right. Lord's blessings to you. We've been praying for you tons. Okay. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
All right. Love you, ladies.